Most people think ETFs are simple. You buy a ticker, you hold it, and you assume it does what the name implies. But markets don't care about assumptions, and ETFs don't always behave the way investors expect. That gap between expectation and reality is where most mistakes happen. Welcome to the ETF Investor. This channel exists for one reason, also to explain what ETFs actually do when markets move, volatility spikes, and conditions change. Not what they say they do on a fact sheet, but how they behave in the real world when money is on the line. Here, we don't chase hype. We don't treat every ETF like it belongs in every portfolio. And we don't assume that higher yield, leverage, or complexity automatically means better results. Instead, we focus on mechanics, risk, and outcomes, because those are the things that ultimately drive performance. On this channel, you'll see deep dives into bond ETFs, Treasury ETFs, inflation-protected securities, gold and silver funds, international equity ETFs, and option-based income products. We break down how these ETFs are built, how they generate returns, and what trade-offs investors are making, whether they realize it or not. We go beyond surface-level explanations. It's not enough to know what an ETF tracks. You need to understand how it tracks it, how often it rebalances, what happens during stress periods, and how fees, structure, and volatility affect long-term results. For example, a fund labeled safe can still lose money. A fund promising high income can cap upside and amplify downside. A leveraged ETF can dramatically outperform in one environment and severely underperform in another. Understanding why that happens is more important than memorizing tickers. This channel is built around real investor questions. What happens if you hold this ETF longer than intended? Why didn't this fund return what you expected? Why did income disappear at the worst possible time? And how do different ETFs actually fit together in a portfolio? We also talk a lot about expectations, because expectations shape decisions. Many ETFs are designed for specific market conditions, specific time horizons, or specific strategies. When those conditions change, the ETF doesn't adjust its mandate. The investor feels the pain. That's especially true for leveraged ETFs, option income ETFs, and thematic funds. These products can be powerful tools when used correctly, but they can also cause significant damage when misunderstood. This channel is about understanding those tools before using them, not after. You won't hear blanket buy or sell recommendations here. ETFs are tools, not answers. A good ETF in the wrong context can still be a bad investment. The goal is to help you understand when a tool makes sense, when it doesn't, and what role it can realistically play in a broader strategy. We also focus heavily on portfolio construction. How different ETFs interact matters more than any single holding. Correlation, duration, volatility, and liquidity all shape how a portfolio behaves during drawdowns and recoveries. Those dynamics don't show up in marketing material, but they show up very clearly in real portfolios. If you're a long-term investor, this channel helps you avoid unnecessary complexity and hidden risks. If you're a tactical investor, it helps you understand timing, structure, and the consequences of holding a trade longer than planned. Either way, the goal is the same. Fewer surprises. This channel is for investors who want clarity, not confirmation bias. It's for people who want to understand what they own, why they own it, and what could go wrong before it actually does. New videos break down individual ETFs, compare similar funds head-to-head, and explain how different strategies perform across market cycles. Everything is explained in plain language without hype, and without pretending risk doesn't exist. If you've ever wondered why an ETF didn't behave the way you expected, why a so-called defensive fund still declined, or why income strategies come with real trade-offs, you're in the right place. If that sounds useful, subscribe to the ETF Investor. Know what you own before the market tests you.